Hey y'all, welcome back to another Wreath Making Wednesday. And if you're new here, thanks for tuning in to Brooks DIY Wreaths and Home Decor, where I show you how to create beautiful wreaths and other home decor items. Today we'll be making a beautiful rose and mixed greenery wreath from a square wired frame that I got at the Dollar Tree. All of the materials that I'll be showing in this video today will be linked in the description. Here's a list of materials and supplies you'll need to complete this project. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start with setting up our workspace. I find it a lot easier to organize everything before I start making the wreath. It definitely saves me time in the long run. So I'll get all of my picks organized with each of the same greenery placed together, so I don't lose track of any of my materials, and I'm not trying to rummage around and find things while I'm working. I'm actually recording on my living room floor today. It's just easier for me to use the living room today. I got a lot going on the day before Thanksgiving. And this is a square-shaped wired frame, but I'm going to kind of turn it to the side a little bit and use it as a diamond. I'm using 12-inch pipe cleaners. I got white ones, but you can use whatever color you want. Typically, I would use whatever color matches with my florals. So typically, I'd actually use green on this one, but I don't have any today, so I'm stuck with white. Now I'm just going to get them all lined up and as straight as possible, so when I make my cut, all of them can be the same length. Now that I've gotten them all straightened out, I'm just going to fold them in half and kind of fluff them out just a little bit so I can cut them in the middle. And you don't have to do this, but it does make it a lot easier to work with while you're twisting, and it saves on waste. Now that we've got everything prepped, I'm going to go ahead and start adding the florals to the wire frame. I'm going to layer my florals in greenery, so I am going to start with a boxwood pick right at the top. Then I'll layer my silver ragwort above that, and then I'll add one of those pretty pink roses right in front. Once we have about 3 of the greenery pieces layered on top of each other, we're going to attach it to the wreath using the pipe cleaners. Do you see how there are 3 levels of the wire frame itself? So there is the inside wire, the middle wire, and then also the outside wire. We're going to be working with the middle wire. So take your pipe cleaner, and then you're going to want to loop it around the florals and the wire all the way to the back side of the wreath. And then you're going to give it 3 or 4 twists just to give it some good security. Now we're going to add our second layer. So we'll start with some of our lamb's ear, and then we'll work with another pink rose. This time, instead of it facing towards the inside of the wreath, we're going to have it face towards the outside of the wreath just to give some extra definition and to really make the arrangement look full. We're going to add another pipe cleaner here. Make sure to place it towards the end of the picks of the last layer and at the top of the picks of the layer that you're securing now. When you add your layers, you want to make sure that each new layer you start is hiding the picks of the last layer that you attached. Now that we've finished one side of the wreath, we're going to snip off any extra wire pieces of our picks with our wire cutters. Pro tip, be sure to fluff out and arrange your greenery pieces as you go. This saves time, energy, and frustration at the end of your project. To hide the corners, we're going to be placing this magenta pick right through the middle of the boxwood stem. This is going to create a really well-rounded fullness all the way around the wreath. And it's really going to hide the extra stems and the wires from showing underneath. We're going to take another pipe cleaner and place it right there at the top of the pick and secure both of those pieces together to the wireframe. Moving on to our second layer, we're going to be adding our ragwort and then another pink rose and placing that towards the inside of the wreath frame. Again, make sure when you add your second pipe cleaner here that you are actually wrapping it around the top of the stems that you're working with now, as well as towards the end of the stems of your last layer and the wireframe. Complete your third layer with some lamb's ear and then a second pink rose facing towards the outside of the frame. You'll want to repeat the same process as you did last time with the corners. So you'll take your boxwood and a magenta rose and loop the stems together towards the back side, and then you will secure it to the wireframe just like you do with all the rest. Repeat the same pattern as you did with your first and second side with your third side as well. And when you reach that last pink rose, before you cover your corners, make sure to clip off any of the excess wires that may be sticking outside of the wreath. You'll want to cover the corners of this last side the same way you did the last 3 times with the boxwood and the magenta rose. You're also going to want to complete the side with the same pattern except for the very last pick. The very last piece of greenery you'll be adding on the middle layer is going to be the boxwood pick. This is why at the beginning with your material list you had 5 of those instead of 4 like the rest of them. The last 2 greenery pieces that we have are the air plant picks that we will be working with. We're going to be adding those to the inside wire of 2 of our sides. Pick one with the most gaps showing. That's what I did anyways. It just really allows the wreath to have full coverage and really look beautiful at the very end. And make sure that when you add your second air pick piece that you are doing it on the opposite side of the one that you placed before. For instance, I placed my first pick in the upper right-hand corner, so my second one is going to be placed in the bottom left-hand corner. The last thing we'll be adding to this wreath is a pretty little burlap bow that is going to go on the top corner, the one that does not have a magenta rose attached to it. If you want to know how to make this bow, I have a video on that on my channel. I will attach at the end of this video. Fluff out your bow just a little bit and then we are finished. That concludes our video for today. So what do y'all think about this mixed greenery wreath? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd really love to hear from you. If you like this DIY idea and want to see more ideas, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. My platform is continuously growing right now, and your support is extremely appreciated by me. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll be back next Wednesday with an all-new wreath to make